Hey, my name is Val, and welcome to the Dairy Hour podcast, where the future of farming isn't just in our fields, it's in our voices. Pull up a chair, friend. Let's share the story of agriculture, one voice at a time. Are you tired of farm gear that just doesn't keep up with your daily grind? Let me introduce you to my favorite find, the waterproof bibs from 4D Ag Fashion. These bibs are built by farmers for farmers, designed to handle the mud, the mess, and everything in between, all while keeping you dry and comfy. They are lightweight, breathable, and so much fun, coming in so many different colors from cow print, camo, teal, pink, purple, navy, green, and maroon. Whether you're working in the parlor, the barn, or tackling chores in the rain, these bibs are a total game changer. You can grab your pair at 4dagfashion.com. That's the number 4, the letter D, agfashion.com. Trust me, once you wear them, you won't want to chore in anything else. Oh, and for the month of June, free shipping for Dairy Month. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Dairy Hour podcast. I am your host, Val Lavigne, and I am joined today by Brittany Thurlow, and the name might sound familiar because she was actually the guest on my first interviewed podcast. So it's kind of a really neat full circle moment to have you back on. And I think I had to work pretty hard to convince you the first time to be on the podcast. And I'm pretty sure I might have had to work harder to get you on the second time. But everyone loves listening to you and your words of wisdom and your advice. And I love chatting with you. So I'm just going to have you on all the time.
Well, thanks for having me. And kudos to you. You did it twice.
Yes, I've convinced you successfully twice. It's amazing. And I'm sure it's much warmer down in Florida where you are than in New York State today because we've had some warm weather and it is not warm anymore. We've gone down into the 50s. So I'm back into freezing to death mode. But here we are.
We actually have the hottest May, whatever this day is, 20th on record today. Feels like 102, something like that. The actual temp is 90.
Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. So the humidity is so thick you can cut it with a knife.
The humidity's not that bad yet. We've had an extremely dry spring. I don't know if we're still in a deep drought, but we were on May 6th. That's when it triggered from an FSA standpoint. I know that part anyway. We have not had very much rainfall, so the humidity is tolerable, but it is just the hottest the thickens out here.
I can imagine. And you are on the west coast of Florida.
I'm actually right in the center.
Centers, yeah. But I think you're a touch more towards the west side. I'm always familiar with the east coast. So anything past like a third of the way across Florida, I'm like, oh yeah, that's west coast.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You know more about it than I do. I just like to vacation there. So
I do tend to gravitate towards the west coast more so. I don't even know the last time I went to the east coast other than for a co-op meeting or something.
Well, we'll have to change that and meet in the middle sometime soon.
There you go. That's right.
So do you want to start and just tell us a little bit about yourself? So those of you who have not, didn't hear the first episode, give us a rundown.
Sure. So my name is Brittany Thurlow. I live in Zolfo Springs, Florida. I'm a 5th generation dairy farmer, 3rd generation Florida dairy farmer. I live here 20 minutes from our farm. I moved back home in 2017. I went to college in Tampa, met my husband in Tampa, started my career in Tampa, and then got called back to the farm and worked with my dad and my brother for about 8 years on our dairy, which was 10 Mile Grade Dairy. We have a pretty significant life change there as far as updates. We just 20 days ago stopped milking cows. We kind of went through the decision process a few years ago of, whether or not to keep going. And we listed the farm and have had all kinds of things happen since then. My dad passed away last January. We've been through all the ups and downs with the industry. And finally, we were able to find a buyer that was interested in moving down from Indiana. It's a family and they wanted to keep it a dairy. So we worked for months and months and months to try and get that figured out. And we finally pulled the trigger and signed paperwork in April. They took over operations in May and we'll close on the real estate here in the next few months. So I am still a farm owner, but I'm not a dairy farmer at the moment. But that's where we are dairy wise. I do live here with my husband. I have 2 kids. My son is 12. My daughter is 8. We have a little kind of home farm where I've got, chickens and donkeys and a few show jerseys that my kids show in the fair, but that's really it.
Awesome. And we're going to talk about those donkeys because one of my favorite things is when I get the little donkey videos showing up on my Instagram. And I really enjoy
Everybody likes to see my ass on the internet.
You've got a real cute ass, Brittany. Like, let it be known. A little obnoxious sometimes, but boy, is she cute.
You guys haven't seen recent videos of her. She's such a brat. For those of you who haven't seen my ass on the internet, I think it was last September or October, I can't remember the storm date. Hurricane Milton came through and I breed mini donkeys. So I've got a few mini donkeys here, and I had a mare that had just foaled a week and a half before the storm. And when the storm came in, we tried to trailer her so we could put her in a barn. So the baby wasn't out there in the middle of the hurricane, and that went very far south. It did not go well. She was not having it, and she never took the baby back. So I ended up with a week-old baby mini donkey in my laundry room during a hurricane, and mom never took her back. So we ended up bottle feeding her for months. Her name is Millie after Hurricane Milton, and typical bottle baby behavior. She is a brat. She's so mean, but she loves me. She's the cutest little thing ever, but oh man.
But anybody else can go away.
That's right. Yep. Cows, horses, it doesn't matter. She's going to run everybody away from mom.
I just love it. And I completely get I'm sure she is obnoxious and naughty. And just some days you're like, why do you have to be such a brat? Oh my gosh, she's just so darn cute. And chasing you all around like a little dog all over the place. Yes.
I think she was like 30 pounds whenever mom kicked her off. So, I mean, she's tiny. We can still pick her up and turn her upside down and rock her like a baby. I mean, she's so little.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but she is a brat. She's got a Clydesdale size attitude.
That's not good. Not good at all. It's usually those little horses. They are the ones with the big attitude. So, or little hooved eared creatures they are. So, but I love it. So I kind of want to jump. Well, I guess while we're on the donkey subject, how did you get into raising mini donkeys? Like, it's not one that just somebody's like one day. I mean, maybe it is just one day, like, I think I'm going to get me some breeding little mini donkeys.
Yeah, I don't know what like really spurred me to look into them, but yeah, I mean, the whole evolution of it has been quite the story. Back in the Craigslist days, so right when we moved home from Tampa, we just wanted something to put out here on our pasture, and we had goats. I'm not a goat person. So we ended up with mini donkeys. I bought this male and female from a gay cowboy couple down in South Florida, and they were a whole thing, but they were great. And we bought this pair, and I don't know, maybe 6 or so months later, they had a baby. And then in the meantime, I got pregnant, and I was like, I've got too many heartbeats and I'm growing a child. I got to get rid of these donkeys. So I got rid of them, sold them to a friend. And so fast forward like a year later, that friend called me and said, hey, do you want this baby that was born at your house back? Because she has already had another one and she's about to foal again. And I'll give him to you if you want him. I'm like, well, sure, he can come back. So we fell in love with him. He was our first baby. And then, of course he needed a girlfriend. Well, so we got him 2 girlfriends, and then those 2 girlfriends had babies, and blah, 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 blah. Here we are, 20 something donkeys later. I think we foaled like 15 of them here. I don't keep most of the babies. I just kept 4 females here last season just as replacements. But yeah, I'm repopulating the earth with mini donkeys, and I love them. They're super cute, super easy, very easy keepers. I don't have to feed them very much. I farrier them like once every 4 to 6 months, just kind of depending on feed condition. And people pay way too much money for these little things. I mean, in production ag, we're so cost sensitive, but when you talk about these little pasture ornaments, people will pay so much money for something that is 0 return on investment, but I will gladly take their money. So that's kind of how we've evolved in the mini donkey situation.
So I see life after the dairy farm. Brittany Thurlow, mini donkey breeder, trainer, right. Circus act. Millie will be the star of the show. It'll be fine.
Millie will always be the star of the show, no doubt.
Is she a keeper forever?
Yep, she's part of that group that I kept. We got super lucky. I mean, out of the 14, the second baby was a female, and then I went on a long stretch and had 0 females, so it was easier to sell the males. And just because, you can't have a bunch of boys running around. And then we hit a streak, and we had 5 females all within 6 months. And it was just, kind of perfect opportunity to have myself a little replacement herd. So we ended up keeping all of those. Millie was supposed to be sold. And of course, once she ended up as a bottle baby, she got to stay. So
She sealed the deal that way.
yeah, we can't get
I'll
rid of
show
her now.
them. They're not getting rid of me.
Yep. And I've since changed out stallions. So all of those girls are from the first male, that one that we had and got rid of, and then he came back. So I've since switched my stallion to a paint so that now all of my babies are coming out paints. So it makes it a lot easier to have to get rid of them because I'm not inbreeding and all of the little girls who are here are from a different male. So he's gone to another place and now I've got a new pretty paint boy and I have to get rid of all of his children.
They must go.
They must go.
But they'll be so cute you won't be able to help yourself, but maybe keep one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when they're painted, that means they're worth more money. Don't you know?
I mean, yeah, people pay for pretty. What can we say?
People pay for pretty. If it's painted and female, ooh, that's a good day.
I love it. So I want to jump back more into, the farm and talking more about how that all kind of came about.
Sure.
You mentioned that it was for sale for a while and, do you want to kind of talk about how those decisions were made? Like what kind of things you looked at, how you guys, that's not business wise, is one decision, but, as anyone that has any connection to a farm knows that, sometimes when it comes to farming, you don't just think with a business mindset. People are so emotionally attached to it because it's not just a job. It's, it's your life. So do you kind of want to talk a little bit about how you guys came to that decision? Obviously it wasn't made lightly.
Sure. It was kind of a multifaceted decision. First, I'll address when we start talking about emotions. I like to call myself emotionally retarded. I'm not an emotional person. It's just my nature. I can very easily kind of separate what's business and what is emotional. And there's very little emotions over here. I have them, but especially when we're talking about finances and losing something versus selling something, I can kind of put us on a pretty clear path pretty quickly without getting tangled up in that emotional webbing. But for us, the decision of how we got there and deciding to list the farm for sale, I'll give a little further context. So I came back in 2017, and I don't know if you are still as traumatized as I am from the last 7 or so years, but it's been a really terrible run in the dairy industry. Down here in Florida, we had animal care incident happened at the end of 2017. Our farm got a direct hit from Hurricane Irma in 2017. We all know what happened in 2020, and we've had some pretty rough years, especially from a grain and input side all the way down here. We're just at such a disadvantage when it comes to grain because we've got to freight everything all the way down in here. And sure, the way that pricing is set up in the federal order, some of that, especially the differentials, are set up to offset some of that cost, but it just really hasn't been feasibly profitable for the last several years. In early 2022, my dad, my brother, and I were looking around at, where the farm was from a profitability standpoint. We had some pretty significant real estate transactions happening in our area. Our area is very intensively mined for phosphate. And so real estate values were very high. Milk prices sucked. Grain prices sucked. And it was just kind of like, is this the right choice? Should we keep going? Or could we just sell it and figure something else out? Because at the same time, our farm is pretty unique in that it is a rotational grazing dairy. So where most of the industry has modernized into confinement barns and being able to control the environment a little bit more, we're totally exposed. And we've been hit pretty significantly by several hurricanes in the last few years. So for us to kind of stay with the industry and continue to evolve, it was going to be some serious capital input that, quite frankly, we couldn't afford at that time either. So we decided to list it, and it was kind of listed at the I don't want to sell it price. For a while, we went through kind of the initial wave of, you've got the gossip, local gossip, and then you've got, truly interested parties. And we talked to several people. We listed it in March of 2022. So, through probably summer of 23, we had talked to a few prospective buyers, but never gotten to the point where we were really hard negotiating. And then in August of 23, Dad got sick. And we went through a whole thing there, trying to figure out what was going on. Turned out he had stage 4 colon cancer. and passed away. He passed away in January of 24. So when Dad got sick, he was kind of in a place where he wasn't never really wanted to sell the farm. He just wanted to, get the I don't want to sell it price. But he realized too kind of where we were at. But it was pretty important to him to not sell the farm while he was sick. So we actually took it off the market for a few months. And then after he had passed, listed it again, I think the following March, and kind of restarted the whole talking to buyers and going through that whole process. We probably seriously talked to 4 or 5 different parties, and then nothing was really coming together. There was one guy from Costa Rica that he swore he was going to buy it, but it was just this like nonstop back and forth. And then a dairy farmer from Indiana randomly called me one evening, and he was young. I talked to him for a little while. He was actually looking at another dairy over in Okeechobee. And we talked for a while. He was, easy to get along with. I answered a bunch of his questions, both from a Florida dairy standpoint and a co-op standpoint. And then we didn't hear from him for a few months because he thought he was buying this place in Okeechobee. And then turns out the deal in Okeechobee fell apart, and another buyer actually purchased that farm, and then they came and talked to us, and we went through lots of questions and probing and negotiation, and finally signed papers a couple months ago, and now they are the proud new owners of our cows. It's going good. I think they're a little warm right now, but it's going good. They're young and they're excited, and I keep telling people they're gritty, like they're tough. They're going to learn some lessons, and it's going to be a challenge, but I have full confidence that they're going to come out on top and grow the farm into the future, which was something that was extremely important to us. I mean, it was one thing to sell the farm. It was another thing for the farm to be closed and sold just as real estate. When I came home to Hardy County, where the farm is, in 2017, there were 9 dairies in the county, and that's the only one left. So for there to be a dairy left in Hardy County really, really means a lot to me. So I'm super grateful for those guys and what they're doing out there. And
As a busy mom and dairy farmer, I'm always looking for ways to support my family's health as well as my own, and I absolutely love Wonder Cow Colostrum. It's packed with essential nutrients, great for supporting gut health, boosts immunity, and promotes overall wellness. Whether it's for me, my kids, or anyone looking to stay strong and healthy, Wonder Cow is my go-to daily supplement. I have been taking it for a year now, and it is irreplaceable in my daily routine. If you want to experience the amazing benefits of colostrum too, you can use my special code, DairyGalVal, at checkout for a discount. Give Wonder Cow a try, and you will definitely feel the difference.
They're planning to accomplish.
I'm so happy that you guys were able to find the right person for your farm, because, while you try not to emotionally tie yourself to it, it is important. And I think that there's definitely something to be said about someone to continue farming it rather than to close its doors and, rip it all down, turn it into real estate, anything like that. It kind of brings me back. I don't know if you watched Yellowstone or not. Like the last episode when they show like the barn all empty and he closes the door for the last time and there's nothing there. That to me is the worst. Like, it's just so sad to see any type. I mean, that's just a TV show. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is not okay. So it's really nice to hear that you were able to be patient enough to find the person that was right for the farm. Because like you said, it's not an easy process and it takes time and it takes those patience. So to be able to stick it out and find the right person it's wonderful. And it's really good to hear that farm will still be here to, keep producing milk and doing the things. So that's awesome.
Yeah, we're super grateful. Honestly, I think I told my husband that yesterday or the day before. It's still so bizarre to me that we actually did it. Like, we actually found a buyer that would keep it a dairy, and people who have the strength and grit and courageousness to pick it up, even though it's distress, because we haven't had the money to reinvest in it for some time, and just see the opportunity there. I mean, that was huge, and we were well, I'm super grateful they elected to stay with our co-op, so there's no disruption there. Both of the guys have young kids. They have 4 kids apiece, so I'm excited about them becoming part of our community and, just keeping that relationship alive and having that dairy presence, not just as a business, but also as a cornerstone of the community, whether it's through 4-H or hosting tours or, whatever. It is very meaningful, and I'm very, very grateful.
Awesome. Now let's talk about you. What's next for you?
Wow, that's a great question. If you could figure that out, Val, I'd appreciate that.
Well, I mean, some really good things have been hashed out here on the podcast, so we can just, we could talk through this right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I have never not worked through high school, through college, through maternity leaves, through, everything. I've had at least one job. So I am taking a pause, as much as it is not my favorite thing at the moment.
I was going to say, you're like me. You don't sit still very long.
Yeah, I'm like an old Holstein. I really like my routine and my schedule and my structure. And we don't have that at the moment, but we're adjusting. It is a little bit of a challenge. I mean, just to be honest, everybody keeps asking, is there life after dairy? And I'm like, I don't really know yet. Number one, we're only 20 days in of not owning cows, and I still talk to these guys almost every single day, whether, it's just a random question or just visiting or, whatever. I was out there yesterday at the farm. So, I do think that there's life after dairy. My uncle and cousins, they stopped milking about a year ago. And they're like, yes, there is life after dairy. So I keep taking their word for it. As far as me, I'm supposed to be taking a break over the summer. My kid's last day of school is tomorrow. So I'm going to have kids all summer, and we've got lots planned as far as, baseball and summer camps and, normal summer things, which is kind of adding to the chaoticness of my schedule right now and lack of structure. But I'm going to take a break for a couple months and obviously we have to get through the real estate transaction piece too. I can't really go projecting after something else until we get this whole transition done and sealed up. So, I don't have a plan right now. We're just kind of taking a break, getting our affairs in order, and kind of see where it goes. Maybe a good opportunity will come in the meantime, but yeah.
And what is your husband doing through this time? Because he also was working for the dairy as well, if my knowledge serves me correct.
Yeah, you're right. He was a contractor for us, kind of our fix-it guy, whether it was electrical or welding or, there's always something on the farm to be fixed. But since you and I talked last June, right?
No, 2 years ago.
Okay. So he has actually started as a part-time history teacher at the middle school at my kids. Yeah, I didn't see that one coming.
What did he do? He went from owning a gym to being a part-time history teacher. All right.
Yep. Everybody laughs about how I tricked him whenever we got married. Like, here I was, business, downtown city girl. And then I up and moved him to the country and became a dairy farmer. Well, he tricked me too, because he had an MMA gym and, was also city folk. And now he is a middle school teacher. How did that happen?
Middle school history teacher. Okay. Not the normal. When you think of a middle school history teacher, he is not what comes to mind.
No, he is not, but he loves it and the kids love him. He's kind of a history nut. So the opportunity presented itself. Our kids go to a little private school and they just needed somebody to pop in there, and they asked him if he'd be interested because he had done a humanities club the year prior with the kids, and they just hit it off really well. And they said, this is history. It's not really, it's kind of a different subject teaching style. Mm-hmm. So, a degree and whatnot is not necessarily required. So yeah, he started that in August, and he's my son's teacher.
How does that work out?
Oh, that's good. It's nice. He can beat up on him and kind of set the tone of the room.
Poor kid goes to school. Man, Dad, I just can't get away from you.
Yep, that's right. So he was still fixing stuff at the barn part-time. He had also started a dog treat business, which if you want to follow that's Patriot Pup, and it's on Instagram and Facebook. But The future of Patriot Pup is also kind of in limbo. It was kind of tied to the dairy. We're not totally sure if we're going to keep pursuing that. He's had good success. He does. He was taking our animals that were not marketable for beef. You know, if we had an animal that broke its leg, or if, you know, something happened where she wasn't able to go to the beef market, he was able to capture that, and then he was doing all of the butchering, and we would dry age for 30 to 45 days, and then he was doing an 80% beef, 20% organ mix in jerky, sticks, and strips. He also did chewable hides. He did bone chews. He got pretty into it. It was pretty cool. His customers absolutely love it because it's a no additives, no preservatives, very fresh, wholesome option for people and their pets. But it is very labor intensive, and obviously you have to have a beef source. So we'll see what happens with Patriot Pup. But right now he is kind of doing the same, and doing that in between of school, finishing this year, getting prepped for next year, doing the classroom clean outs and stuff this week. He's still doing Patriot Pup for now, but hopefully he's going to get a bunch of honeydews done this summer.
Here's my list, honey. It's very long.
Yes. Actually, this morning he didn't have to go into work today, and I walked outside and he was taking apart my old chicken coop, and I was like, "Oh, man after my own heart. I love you."
Get those things done. Let's go.
Yes, absolutely.
Good. So, you know, do you have a direction? Are you kind of staying right where you are for definite? You know, what kind of things run through your mind?
Well, we're not going to move. We're pretty embedded in our community. I grew up a mile and a half maybe down the road, and I went to the school 4 miles down the road. I'm a 4-H leader. I'm on the fair board. I mean, we're super embedded here, and we have a great community. We're so grateful to be part of it, and we wouldn't want to relocate our kids. So we're staying here. I don't know that I really have a direction yet. I'm trying not to project at anything. I mean, I'm sure I'll have options. I would love to stay in agriculture, whether or not my brother and I stay in production agriculture, or if we decide to go do something different. We haven't really even gotten that far yet. You know, people like to think that, okay, you closed the farm, now you can go do whatever you want, right? Well, no, you've still got to work through, you know, how you manage that business. I mean, we did not sell the business, we sold the assets. So my brother and I still own Nickerson Cattle Company. We still have assets in Nickerson Cattle Company. We're still going to have, you know, books to keep through at least the rest of the tax year. And then we got to decide what we're going to do going forward. We have skill sets that kind of complement each other, but not necessarily that have to be together. You know, he's excellent with equipment. He's really good. We still have a leased piece of land that we have a hay operation off of. So it's not like, you know, we close the book and now we're going to go do our life thing. We still have a lot of stuff to transition out. And then, you know, long-term wise, I'm not really sure. I do have my real estate license. I could probably do that. I will not be teaching at the school. I can guarantee.
We will not see Mrs. Thurlow, just Mr. Thurlow.
Yeah, I will go run a shovel on the road crew before I do that. Not my thing. I love my 4-H kids, but I only have them for an hour a month.
Your poor kids at school, they'd be like, man, dad followed me to school. Now mom's here too. Can I ever get away from?
No worries of that, kids. None whatsoever.
It's Brittany and Millie take on school.
That's right. I mean, we could just become social media superstars. Who knows?
I mean, hey, oh my gosh, I don't think it's a miniature donkey. I think it's a regular donkey. And I actually haven't seen him in a while now that I'm thinking about it. There's a donkey. I don't know.
Cash the mini donkey or whatever.
No, I think he was a regular donkey. And
okay.
It was some kind of a line from Shrek was like the handle on TikTok. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to look him up. But he has a thing with squeaky chickens, like, you know, the rubber chickens. Oh my gosh, I could watch him for hours because he's just so stinking cute. And he like runs around and squeaks the rubber chicken, and people from all over send him these different rubber chickens. So the funny story is seeing his TikToks and the rubber chickens and how he likes them. I got my barrel horse a rubber chicken because he's very mouthy. And so I was like, you know, will he play with the rubber chicken? So he does enjoy squeaking the rubber chicken, but I do not give it to him for all the time. And when the farrier is here working on his feet, he's notoriously naughty for the farrier. With Godspeed to poor Joe in a few hours is coming to work on Murphy's feet. But actually, he likes to play with the rubber chicken while he's getting his feet done, and it keeps him half occupied. So then he's much nicer to the farriers. So you learn these things on TikTok, you know?
I don't have TikTok, so I don't know. Maybe I need to. We're going to be internet superstars.
I think you and Millie could really make it big on TikTok. Let's do this.
But we'll see. I'll have to come back so I can share all my handles and y'all can follow me.
Perfect. We will definitely do that. Or I'll be like, hey, girls got a TikTok. You got to check out the mini donkey. No, do the things. Like, go for it. Oh my gosh, I love it. So any other worldly insights you have before we move on to the next part of the podcast?
I don't think so.
She's like, I don't know at this point.
I'm still in recovery. I'm still in indefinite land.
That's okay.
I don't even know that the dust has settled mentally, physically, emotionally, any of it. You know, we're still kind of weeding through all of it.
And that's okay.
There's a relief component to it somewhat. My brother called me the other night at like 9:15. He never calls me that late. So I'm like, what's the matter?
What's wrong?
Your cows are out. And then I was like, huh? And he's like, we're never going to get that call again.
He's like, but the joke's on me because I do actually have heifers at my house.
Yeah, exactly. That's where my mind went. But
or they're going to say, Brittany, get your ass off the road.
Yeah, that's right. Which has also happened.
Gosh, I hate when my ass is out wandering on the hot blacktop.
I know, right?
Gosh, This is the episode with the best jokes, apparently. All the fun. I mean, I probably won't ever have that record because I have a feeling there's a lot of other podcasts out here, but ours is at least it's a good one. It's a good.
Yep, that's right.
It's a good ass to have on a podcast, you know?
Yep.
So let's transition into some fun rapid fire questions just to get to know a little bit more about you. She's if you're not watching, she's like hunkering down. She's ready for this. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Favorite color? She really had to think about that. She's like, I don't know. See, I wore this shirt just for you today, you know?
Thanks.
Morning person or night owl?
I'm kind of both.
That work?
Yeah, I like to get up early. I'm not like a 4:30 riser, but I also like to stay up late. So my sleep pattern probably sucks.
Things we could work on, getting some rest.
Yeah, right.
Favorite season?
Favorite spring. Definitely spring.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee all day, nice and black.
I cannot drink it black, but I do like tea and I appreciate tea, but I'm a coffee gal. Otherwise, you don't want to know me. Go-to comfort food?
Go-to comfort food? Probably cream cheese.
Cream cheese? That's a good one. Do love some cream cheese. Like sweet or savory?
Savory.
Pizza or burgers?
Burgers.
Wow. A lot of people, I've asked this one a lot lately because it really trips people up and they're like, but I can't choose. But you were a solid
burger.
Solid burger girl. Introvert or extrovert?
Depends on the day.
I refer to myself as an introverted extrovert.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Vice versa, I could go either way. Yeah,
I can do the things, but it exhausts me.
Same. Yes.
Okay.
And if I'm happy, I am in an office at a computer inside of a spreadsheet. Like that's where my flow state is.
Disagree there, but that's fine.
Oh.
Mine is on the back of a horse.
Hell no.
A well-behaved horse. There's definitely a difference. Let's see. Favorite childhood memory. This can be from a holiday, just like something that springs to mind.
Favorite childhood memory.
Or just something that really shaped you, something that happened. I done stumped her.
You did stump me. I mean, like when I think childhood memory, like we've got a lake that's about 45 minutes away. We spend a lot of time there still. My mom has a house there. My uncle has a house there. My aunt has a house there. We've got a good little tribe right there. So probably spending time at the lake, like, happy childhood memory. Formative.
What kind of things did you do there?
Typical Florida things, swimming, kneeboarding, wakeboarding, skiing, tubing, all the good lake stuff.
All the fun things. Let's see. If you could time travel, would you go past or future?
Backwards, 100%.
She didn't have to think about that one.
Yep. Take me back when things were simple.
Board game or cards?
Cards.
Are you a card shark?
I'm the daughter of a card shark. My dad was a pretty serious hearts and poker player. I get a little bored with board games, so maybe that's the name. I like the fastness of card games.
Girl was born with a poker face. Love it. Favorite thing to do on the weekends besides
chores?
I love it. Chores, it's fine.
I'm a checklist person. Like I like to, okay, we're gonna do this, and this weekend, and
Gave
knock
you
it
the
all off.
prime opportunity for an ass joke and you didn't take it, you know?
Hey, wash my ass is a chore. That's right.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh, that's amazing. Let's see. What's your favorite thing about yourself? Ask you a harder one because you're answering these too easy.
What is my favorite thing about myself?
And you won't sound like into yourself, I promise.
I think that I like my brain. I think that I'm very blessed and I've got a little bit of smarts in there. Don't let the blonde hair fool you. And I really enjoy like delving into stuff and understanding it and analyzing it. It's my happy place. I'm not really a big barrel of fun, but
Stop. I've always had fun with you. So here's the thing.
there you go.
All right. Favorite place you've ever traveled for work or for fun?
Favorite place? Gosh, I'm such a loser. I don't really like to travel. I like to be home. I've gone to some pretty great places. My grandfather was really big into traveling, and when he retired and my dad and my uncle took over, he was pretty passionate about taking his grandkids, all four of us, around. And he took us to both Alaska and Hawaii.
Ooh.
Amazing trips, no expense spared. He was really good to us there. I'll say I liked Alaska better because my husband got to come. That was the last trip that we took with him, so that was a good one. It was pretty neat.
That would be special. Yeah, definitely. All right. Now, as much as you don't want to travel, if you were going to go somewhere and all expenses paid and someone said, pack your bags, where are you going?
I'm 100% dairy loser. I want to go travel and see other dairies in Europe. I've heard that New Zealand has got some really neat things over there, both from a dairy standpoint, especially a grazing dairy standpoint. So I'd like to go there. I just don't want to get on the long plane ride.
That's the only problem. If only I could just teleport.
If I could just teleport, yeah. I'm there.
It's the little things in life that you really wish, first world problems. I can get on a plane and be there, but really I would rather just teleport because I love it. Let's see. Ask you one more. Man, struggling to figure out what I want to ask you. What's your besides a burger, you're going out to eat, what's your go-to to grab?
Steak.
She doesn't fall very far. She's like, yeah, we're going to stick it in the beef family.
Yeah, I'm going to stick it in the beef family of every rancher's dream. I like a good steak, medium rare, and some vegetables. If I got steak and Brussels sprouts and a glass of red wine, that's heaven. What more could a girl ask for?
I mean, I'd go for the white wine, but yeah, steak and Brussels sprouts is definitely no hardship. So that's one of those things that I've learned to like as an adult. Did you always like Brussels?
My mom didn't cook them. We weren't raised on Brussels sprouts, and I discovered them, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. So I'm fairly new to Brussels sprouts, maybe, but some good Brussels sprouts. Heck yeah, man. Especially with some bacon and blue cheese in there.
Blue cheese? I didn't think about blue cheese so we started eating it. My husband, when I met him, or when we started dating, I guess I've known him for much longer than that. Not a vegetable guy, very much not a vegetable guy. And he started to discover that he liked, I think it was green beans was the first thing that he started eating, but with bacon and onions in them. So, and it's actually one of the most popular vegetables that we serve when we cater. And we call them Greg's green beans, and it's green beans with bacon and onion, and it's delicious. Yeah. And then I think we branched out, and he started to kind of eat a little broccoli. And then all of a sudden we tried Brussels sprouts with bacon and onions, and he was like, oh, I like these too. Mm-hmm. So now he eats veggies. It's very weird. I don't know who this guy is that all of a sudden evolved and now eats vegetables, but I'm like, okay, we're good. We can do this.
Adulting at its finest.
Yes, learning that you like things with bacon and onions in them. I mean, bring it on.
I did the same thing with salad. I would never eat a salad if you paid me growing up, or even, I don't even remember what the change was, whether it was my last pregnancy or what, but all of a sudden I just decided I like salad now and eat it. And still my friends, I'll order it out on a girl's lunch or something, and my best friends will look at me so weird.
Who are you? What did you do with her? You do realize that salad you're eating, right? But you can,
I'm old now.
Put steak on it, and then it's really good.
Oh yeah, a good wedge salad with blue cheese and steak.
Yeah. I do love a good wedge salad. Now you're making me hungry. So I always have a guest. My previous guests leave questions that are more of a deeper thought question for future guests, and I usually try to select one that kind of has something to do with the guest that I'm currently interviewing. So your question is, and I think that this ties a lot into, finding the next chapter and things like that. When you're having a tough day, what is something you do to change your mood and mentality to be more positive?
That's just funny. You did pick a good question because I'm going to spoil your plan here.
Oh, don't spoil my plan.
You had asked me to come prepared with a quote.
Yep.
So my quote is kind of relative to that, or at least my explanation of the quote. I am a big historical fiction listener. I don't actually read books. I just listen to them because I drive so much. But for me, having a sense of perspective and gratitude can completely change my outlook. You know, we all get in a place where we're, you know, whether it's, oh, woe is me, or, you know, having a little pity party. And if I can reflect back to, you know, some place in history or some other scenario where the level of how blessed and fortunate I am becomes more apparent, and then I can just, you know, kind of snap out of it. Like, get over yourself. Think about concentration camps, or think about Vietnam War, or think about, you know, this, that, or the other. And man, it is crazy how lucky we are and how spoiled rotten our kids are these days. That's best for me. It's kind of a more of a harsh approach to it. But yeah, that having those reference points to be able to kind of reset my level of gratitude and fortune is pretty important to me.
Yes, agreed. So with that, what quote did you bring?
I brought one from Churchill.
Ooh, there you go.
If you're
that
going
through
hell,
that teacher is really proud of you right now.
I think he is. I didn't even think about that. I have a note in my phone where I keep, you know, different quotes that kind of catch me, whether it's a quote from another board member as we're, you know, kind of doing co-op business, or a quote in a book, or, you know, whatever. But when you had asked me, I'd gone through it, and this one kind of resonated with me. I don't know if this is reflective of where my mental state is right now or what, but Churchill said, if you're going through hell, keep going, right? It's finding that perspective and getting to the other side of it. So that's mine.
It's simple and it's straightforward.
Just keep going. There's no, I mean, you can tie it all the way back to Dory. Just keep going. Just keep swimming.
Say you have kids without saying you have kids.
I know, right? It's terrible. It really is. I could quote so many Disney movies. I'm a loser, but
no, that's just every mom. Just so if that makes us all losers, then we're cool because we're the majority. So we win.
There you go. I'll take it.
We're going through the Moana 2 right now.
Okay. We went and saw that in theaters.
My kids can sing like every single song, and they made me look up exactly what language it's in, which it's in multiple dialects of Polynesian, in case you were wondering.
Oh boy, I was not wondering, but thank you for that bit of information.
Now you know.
Now I know.
The soundtrack is pretty good. We listen to it frequently, and if we're not listening to it, my kids are usually singing it. So there's
okay. That. I'm gonna have to tell my daughter she needs to watch it again. I think it's out on Disney Plus.
It is, because we watch it many, many times.
Okay.
Yeah. But there is a version, and it's like the sing-along version, and it has the lyrics of the songs.
Oh God.
When they're singing, so they can learn to sing along. So you're gonna have to share that with your daughter and find that specific version. So then you too can be blessed.
She's in that phase right now where every time we get into the car, she wants my phone so she can pick our music. And then she does like the lyric thing and she'll sing along to it. It's the sweetest thing. But I just want to not sometimes like put Tyler Childers back on and listen to some guitar. I mean, please, for the love.
We can only listen to the song so many times, okay?
I mean, for real.
I do feel that very much so.
Yeah, but it's good for her. I'm happy.
At least she's looking up the lyrics, because when I was a kid, I used to love singing along. I was that kid, loved to sing along, except obviously I was a kid before there was, iPhones where you could sit there and like play whatever you wanted. You just listen to what's on the radio. And I didn't have the phone in front of me with these lovely lyrics telling me exactly what was being said. So your girl would just make up her own lyrics. And my mom said some of the times that I would be singing, she said it was just the funniest thing because I had no idea what was going on, but I had my own version and that was perfect.
Yep. So, hey, whatever works.
Got to march to the beat of your own drum. You do you, girl, right?
There's another quote of the day.
Yes. So, oh my gosh, I love it. I have so much fun chatting with you. And, we're going to have to probably do this again in 2 years, just so you know.
Hey, I'm down.
Are you going to not fight me this time and be like, oh, I don't know. Just next time, just be like, immediate yes, let's go.
I'm surrounded by jackasses for a reason. I am stubborn in my nature. Okay.
So am I. So here you go. You met your stubborn oh my gosh, I can't talk. Stubborn counterpart from New York. Here we are.
Yep, that's right.
Brittany, where You got to share your Instagram handle so people can go check out your ass.
Oh, yes. Please come look
your
at my ass on the internet. All of my ass.
This episode's going to get flagged. And it's not like we're actually talking about it. We're talking about the four-legged one.
That's right. Yep. So my Instagram is BN Thurlow. Nickerson is my maiden name. So BN Thurlow, and you should be able to find me on there. Lots of donkey stuff. I think I have it set to private, but I usually accept most of the friend requests. So love for y'all to follow along of me and my ass on the internet.
You definitely have to go on and look for videos. Go back, scroll back and find those Millie videos because they are fun. And this is your sign. With all this quote unquote free time you're going to have, Brittany, we need some more Millie content.
We need more Millie. All right, that's fine. My local community, it's funny. Like, it actually happened at a funeral on Saturday.
Oh my gosh.
There are so many old men, which, old men are old men, but they love my Instagram stuff. I don't know. It's like it has to be the donkeys because it's unique, especially against all the other crap that women in particularly put on social media. I will always have these little old men come up to me in town and be like, hey, I saw your video of you and your chickens last week and it was so funny. Or on Saturday, a lady came up to me and was like, I don't know if he's going to recognize you in person, but my husband loves to watch your stuff on Instagram. I'm like, I am not an Instagram superstar. How is this happening?
Her husband just loves looking at your ass.
So
it's Brittany's Only Donkeys page.
I know, right? I don't need Feet Finder. I need Ass Finder, apparently.
Not the ass you're thinking of, the donkeys. Oh gosh, I love it. Thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed this conversation and getting to follow up and chit chat with Brittany some more. I have had a blast as always. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you loved this episode, please share it with a friend, leave me a review, and be sure to tag me when you do. And again, we will talk to you next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, Dairy Hour listeners, if you're enjoying this show, leaving a review is the best way to help us grow and reach more people. Plus, I've got a little thank you for you. Snap a screenshot of your review, message it to me at Dairy Gal Val, and I will be sure to send some fun Dairy Hour stickers your way. Thanks for supporting the podcast, and I cannot wait to mail you some swag.